Hey people, welcome once again to Ken's Money Matters. Wonderful Sunday, but I'm having a flu today, so I'm going to be sipping on my dawa. Those who know dawa, you know what's in this water. No alcohol though. Anyway, it's a beautiful day. Let's talk about some money issues. This is an investment Sunday, so we're going to be talking about investments, and I'm going to talk about treasury bills and treasury bonds in Kenya specifically. How do you invest in them? What are they? What's the procedure of investing? What are some of the advantages that they would offer you as an investor? So one thing I always say is that most of us don't make a lot of money in our youth because we are averse to risks. We don't want to take risks, and some people fear the stock market. Like currently there's a sell-off and people are, all fearing up and, selling their stuff. Sometimes there are alternative investments, and I believe that in Kenya, treasury bills and treasury bonds are the alternative investments. Of course, they are everywhere else, but I want to focus on Kenya because I want to talk about the process of buying them and why we should invest in them. So banks steal money from us, guys. Banks always make us poor. Why do I say so? I say so because we keep a lot of money in the bank, we earn very low interest rates, but we don't get anything back. You're basically giving them your money to make money, but you're not making any money out of it. So you work hard, you put your money in the bank, they use your money to make money, but you don't get anything out of it. If not, sometimes they actually deduct some of the money. So a lot of us have been brought up to get used to the idea of keeping money in the bank, which I think is an outdated idea. It's an idea that has kept us poor economically, and an idea that we need to throw on the wayside and start proper investing. Now, I know some people, like I said, are risk averse. Treasury bills and treasury bonds are for those who are risk averse. So if you do not want to take any crazy risks, if you believe the stock market is not for you, if you believe that maybe real estate is not for you, if you believe that business is not for you, and you just want to work, make your money and invest it, and of course even business people can still invest, this is the place to be. And I'm not saying it's only for those people who are risk averse. Again, there are people who want to diversify their investments. Again, this is the place to be. Let's talk about treasury bills and treasury bonds. And I'm going to start by talking about treasury bills. So treasury bills are basically investment vehicles that are offered by the government of Kenya through the central bank or through other brokers that are appointed by the central bank. So treasury bills are basically short-term investment vehicles. You loan your money to the government and then you get back with some interest. In the case of treasury bills, what you do is you buy coupons, and these coupons have a value. There's a face value on the coupon, but when you buy the coupon, you're buying it at a discount. So when you buy the coupon at a discount, it means you're not investing the exact amount or the exact value of that coupon. So your investment is lower than the face value of the coupon, and that's where you get the money. I say short term because they are within 3 months, 6 months, and a year. So within that period, you will have invested your money and you will be receiving a good amount of money back. Much better than the banks. There's no risk to it, and I'll talk about the advantages of treasury bills, but I hope you now understand what they are. Basically, you are giving the government money and they will give it back to you with some interest, basically. So what are some of the advantages of treasury bills? Number one, it's very secure. So for those who are risk averse, like I said earlier, this is a good investment opportunity. You don't have to worry about losing your money because the face value of the coupon you bought is the money you will get at the end of the period, at the maturity time. So you don't have to worry about the risks. You don't have to worry about losing your investment. It's very secure and very safe. Number two, they offer short-term investment vehicles. So if you do not want to get involved in an investment for a long-term period, you have this opportunity to invest in treasury bills and have a very short-term investment. You can choose 3 months, 6 months, and a year. So that's very short-term, and you get your returns. So if you don't want any long-term vehicles, you want a short-term one, this is a perfect place to be. And then of course they have very attractive rates. So because they are discounted, sometimes they are very attractive compared to banks and savings accounts and some certificate of deposits, basically. So this is an attractive rate because you are paying much less than what you are going to get and you're sure of getting it. What better investment could you ever have? They are also auctioned weekly, and this makes it a timely investment. It means even next week, if you decide to invest in treasury bills, you can do it. You just need to check on what are the dates. You go to the website of the Central Bank of Kenya, check what are the auction dates, and decide when you want to start investing. So this makes it very easy and efficient to actually invest in. So I've given you advantages. It's secure, it's also flexible, It's a short-term investment. It's also it gives very good rates of return, and it's one of the best investments you would get involved in instead of putting your money in the bank. So it basically saves you money and makes you more money. So in that sense, it has amazing advantages. So let's talk about treasury bonds. So treasury bonds are basically investment, medium to long-term investment vehicles whereby you give the government money and they pay you back that money with interest rates. It's more like a savings account, but this is because you're now dealing with the government. So, and it has better rates. So treasury bonds are very simple. You loan the government some money and they give you that money back after a particular period of time with some interest. It's very straightforward. It's very direct. Companies invest, corporates, individuals are able to invest in this kind of bonds. Now, this is a very good investment vehicle. First of all, you must know that they're offered every single month. So on a monthly basis, you are able to get these bonds. So you can invest in them every single month. So you just need to go to the website of the Central Bank of Kenya, check when they're offering their next auction, which is monthly, and make your investment, basically. It's a very simple, direct process that can give you good returns over a period of time. There are also other bonds that the central bank or the government may offer across a period of time. And these are different bonds like infrastructural bonds that the government uses the money to develop infrastructure and they give back the money to the individual with interest. So there are other bonds that are offered within treasury bonds. So you can invest in these treasury bonds using through the commercial bank. You can also invest through any investment bank in Kenya. But if you have an account in Kenya, you basically can just have a direct account with the CBK and invest directly. You don't need to have any link to invest in treasury bonds. Now, what is most important is that both corporates and individuals can invest in such bonds. And like I said, there are also other bonds that are offered, like infrastructural bonds, like I mentioned. And of course, there are zero coupon bonds that are almost similar to treasury bills. But if you want to invest in the treasury bonds, it's a very simple process. Now, before we go into the process, because the process is almost similar for treasury bonds and treasury bills, let's look at some of the advantages of treasury bonds. So, number one, they're very secure. Like I said, this is for the risk-averse people. It's a very secure investment. When you buy, you have a fixed interest rate. You know that at the end of this maturity period, this is the interest rate that I'm going to have, and this is the amount of money I'm going to have based on your investment. So that is security and safety in it. So there's no issue of risks. There's no issue of losing your investments. And again, because you are working with the government, chances are it's much safer. Government investments are always known to be much safer. Number two, it gives you regular income. So because interest rates can be paid in 6 months period, every 6 months you get your payment, your interest payment. So that gives you regular income. So if you're someone who wants to get money regularly, this is a good investment vehicle for you. Number three is that they are very flexible. It means you can do it every month. There's no fixed period when you have to do it. So if you feel you want to invest next month, simply check it out, check out the auction dates and go and invest. That flexibility is effective, and it means anytime you make a decision to start investing, you have an opportunity to invest. They also give you flexibility in terms of the kinds of bonds you can invest in. Like I said, there are different range of bonds within treasury bonds. So it gives you that option of deciding where do you want to invest your money. Like I said, there's infrastructural bonds, there are zero coupons, and all manner of bonds within the treasury. Of course, you need to do that research and make sure you know what you want to invest in specifically. So yes, it gives you a number of advantages looking at what I've just said. But now, how do you actually invest? I did a video on how to invest in shares. It's almost similar, but slightly different because there's a different one. So both the treasury bonds and the treasury bills have almost similar investment procedure. Number one is you open a CDS account, which I spoke about in my video. You need to have an account in Kenya for you to be able to open a CDS account. Number two, because treasury bonds are offered in different durations, maturity dates, you need to decide how do you want to invest. Do you want to invest for 1 year, 2 years? It can go from 1 year up to 30 years. So do you want just a year, 2 years, 3 years? So you make that decision on how long you want to invest, how much you want to invest. And then of course you decide on what you are investing in. Like I said earlier, there are a range of other bonds within treasury bonds. So you decide which investment vehicle specifically are you going to use. So whether you're investing in treasury bills or treasury bonds, make a decision on which investment vehicle you're going to use before you continue. That helps you determine what your returns are, what your investment amount should be, and stuff like that. So of course, when you're done with that process, the next the next step is for you to just ensure that you submit an application, because of course when there's an auction you have to submit your application. So submit an application for the auction and then wait for the auction results. When they come out, of course you will see what you received, and sometimes they may be lower than what you expected. For example, if the investment initially was supposed to be 100,000, that's what you saw, they may offer it at a lower price or a higher price. Basically things may change. So make sure you get the results, check what you've been offered, and then they give you some period and then you make the payment. After you make the payment, you've done your investments and you can only wait for the maturity date. So like I mentioned, treasury bills and treasury bonds, both of them have almost the same procedure. Actually, it's the same procedure. You just need to, the difference is deciding on what you're going to invest in and what period of time are you going to invest in. So the procedure is basically the same. Get a CDS account, make an application for the auctions, wait for the results, do the payment, and of course you wait for your proceeds. So this is a very simple, very direct process. If you want to do it, just go into the CBK website and do it. If you want to do it through an investment bank, then do it. If you want to do it through the Commercial Bank of Kenya, then do it. So it's a very simple and seamless process. Like I said, I mentioned all the advantages of treasury bills, the advantages of treasury bonds, and why you may need to start investing in them as soon as possible. I hope this has been helpful, and if you want to know more about CDS accounts, if you are in the diaspora and you want to know how to invest, I did a video on buying shares in Kenya. The process is the same. Getting a CDS account is the same process, the same procedure. So just get a CDS account and the same one will serve you in different purposes. Like I say, let's begin investing now, guys. Thank you, and till next time.